Hey guys, what's up? What's going on? And welcome back to the channel. I hope everybody has had a great day. Like I said last night in the tool video, I did get my pressure washer pump in, so we're going to be changing that out tonight. Just something a little bit different, but I thought it was something that I could show you guys, and it's really relatively simple to do. If you have a pressure washer like I have that's relatively expensive, to me it was worth it to just go ahead and replace the pump, as you guys said, and disagree with my wife. So I thought that was pretty cool. So no, I'm just kidding you. We don't disagree very often, and we hardly ever argue. We got a pretty good life, so together. Anyway, moving on. Like I said, this pressure washer is a Porter cable. It is a 2400 PSI pressure washer. I've had this pressure washer for probably about 15 years. The other day I got that out to use it, and I just didn't have very much pressure at all. I noticed last year we were having some issues with it. I thought it was the pressure relief valve. So I took that out first to clean it, and everything looked pretty good in there. So I continued on to pull the pump off to separate the pump from the engine. It's just 4 bolts right through here. And then I separated these two caps from the back of the pump. The way this works, this turns a little centrifugal oblong shaped, or however you want to say it. Basically it wobbles back and forth like this, and it moves 4 pistons up and down inside here. There's 2 here, and then there's 2 on the opposite side right here. If you look in the end of this, you'll see them right in through here is where you'll see the 4 pistons is where it works. I tried to clean everything out and put it all back together, but the seals are just bad, and I wasn't able to accomplish that. And it was leaking between the sandwich plate right here too. This is a rubber O-ring, and once I took it apart, it leaked continuously. One of the things that you're going to want to do before you take that apart, and unless you have a vise you can stick it in, is go ahead and take off your water outlet. This is your high pressure side. The reason I say that is because you have no way to hold it once you get that out of there, and it's just easier before you take it and separate it from the engine to go ahead and take that off. If your pressure washer is like mine and have all the quick connects, you're going to want to reuse that because the new pump does not come with it. So I went ahead and took it off, and I'm going to reuse my quick connect. What I've purchased is a Comet pump, and it's a BXD 2530G, and I purchased this from APW. There's their information if you guys are interested. They're out of Washington, and I will put a link in the description below. I did pay $199 for this pump. I think originally for the pressure washer it was like $600–700 when we initially bought it, and I just couldn't see going out and paying a couple $100 for a cheap one and have it go bad again. This does have a good Honda engine on it. It's the GC series, not the GX series. They're just as good, but not as industrial as the GX series. So, like I said, this is a Comet pump and is a direct replacement. The only difference being is this is a 3000 PSI pump and not a 2400 PSI pump. First, open your box. You're going to have some instructions to tell you what to do. You have your manual, some other jargon. You got your suction hose for your soap, and then you got your thermal relief valve, which has got to be installed by you also. And then there is your coupler for if you need to use it for your high pressure outlet side. Some other pieces and parts here. There's your vented oil cap. There is your pressure relief handle, and then it does come with new bolts to be able to bolt it to your engine. The pump does come with oil already in it. It just comes with a sealed cap, and you need to remove that and put your vent on it before you run it. So this is your low pressure inlet, and this is your high pressure outlet, and this is where I'm going to be putting my quick connect on. I don't need that extra coupler. I'll just put some thread tape on there and be able to put this on. I'll wait until I get it on the unit to put this stuff on, just because it'll make it easier, just like it makes it easier for disassembly. Before we get started, I want to show you guys a couple of things here. This is your thermal relief valve, and most all pressure washers will have it. Okay, all pressure washers will have these. What these actually do is they usually are set to 130 degrees. This one here, and that'll shows you, it gives you an indication how scaly and calcified that was. From now on, there's a product called Pump Saver that they advised me to use, and I've never used it, so the new one will have it. Way this works is water comes in here, goes through, gets pressurized, and goes out here. When you have the handle, when you have your trigger pulled. If you don't have your trigger pulled, the water comes in, circulates through, bypasses, and just keeps going. As that's going through like that, it heats up, and then if it gets over 130 degrees, this little thermocouple will pop, and then you should actually shut. It'll either start to drip, it'll pop, it'll blow. If you see water coming out of this, you need to hurry up and shut down your pressure washer because it is overheated, and if you want to save it, then you need to make sure and shut it down, because these are easily replaceable, they're inexpensive, and it's a heck of a lot cheaper than buying a new pump or a pressure washer. Alright, like I said, these are relatively easy to take apart. Like I said, we're going to put these ball ends to use tonight. Just take your 4 bolts out, and then you can just pull your pump off. Like I said, these are relatively easy to change. You can see how quick I took it apart, and I'm already ready for reassembly. This is just a 3/4 inch keyed shaft. The new pump has a built-in key on the female side, so now I'm ready. All I have to do is take the new pump, slide it on here, and start loosely fitting the bolts in. And as I do that, I'm going to want to pull on the rope and make sure everything is good and free. If you tighten everything up and pull the rope and it's tight or it's binding, you want to make sure and loosen your bolts back up and pull the rope and make sure nothing's bound up. Just want to look inside there and see where your keyway is oriented, and it's up to just about 11 o'clock it looks like. So I'll move that over that way. Feels like everything's engaged, so I'll go grab the new bolts and new hardware and bolt this in place. Alright, all I have to do is I got to put my pressure relief handle on there. Just pop that on. This plug right here comes out, and that's where the thermal protector goes in this pump. And then I got to put my water inlet, or my high pressure quick connect on there, and then we'll take it out there and try it out. It already does come with oil in it, so basically that's it. Just a couple of things left, and we'll be out there trying it out. All right, with that, everything is done. If you were doing this yourself in your garage, it'd probably be about 15-20 minutes, maybe a half hour to most, from start to finish, going and getting it wherever it's at. One thing I would like to mention is when you do put your thermal pressure relief in there, do not over tighten it, because it is going into the body of the pump, and both of these are brass and they're a pipe thread, so the further you go, the bigger it gets, the more you put it in there. You do take the risk of splitting this brass housing. Also with this one here, try not to over tighten it. You're not as likely to damage anything other than the threads on this coupler right here. And this coupler is probably replaceable because everything's new, but you got a brand new pump, why over tighten it? I use Teflon tape. I use the Mega Gray tape on this stuff. So we'll see how everything works. That's what they suggested to use, was the tape. So let's take it outside and see how everything goes. One last thing I would like to mention, make sure and wrap your tape the right way. You want to wind your tape on there the way it threads in. So this is threading in this way. You want to make sure and go the opposite direction with your tape, so as you're threading that in, it's not unwinding your tape. So just, that's a lot of, I see a lot of that. People doing that, putting their tape on the wrong way. So right now, let's get this outside and try this thing out. Alright, I think that worked pretty good. The only thing I'm concerned about is I noticed that this pump puts the motor under just a little bit more stress than what the other one did. So I do want to call them and ask them about that. It's something that's new to me as far as this pump compared to the other pump. I mean, we're only talking about 600 PSI, so it's not that much different. I did mess with the pressure relief just a little bit and adjust the pressure, but it didn't seem to help. So that's something I do want to call them on. Other than that, it worked pretty good. I was able to do quite a bit, and then now it's starting to rain, so I shut it off. So I'm pretty happy with the results. If the engine does go bad, I run out to Harbor Freight and buy one of those Predator engines and put on there, and back in business again. So once again, guys, I do appreciate you watching very much. If you don't mind, hit that like button, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not already done so, and we'll talk to you later on.